Greetings and salutations, everybody. We are back with another episode of Three Men and an Anime. Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Hooray!
This is Mecha GM, and I'm joined as usual by my good friends and co-hosts, Eric Carlson and Gav Leaf. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Surprisingly tired, actually.
Hmm.
Gav, however, isn't tired.
I'm
He's
always
not allowed to be
tired.
tired. No, you're
No,
not allowed to
I'm
be
in a
tired.
perpetual state of tired. I have achieved Zen of tired. I just am tired. Not even physical. I am just the concept of tired.
I see.
Yes.
Interesting.
I found a great word earlier today.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, it sums me up real well. It's exhaustipated. I am too tired to give a shit.
All right, then. Well, on the plus side, we are covering Gav's most recent series selection, Blue Eye Samurai.
I do give a shit about this. This show. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get the... If you haven't watched this and don't want any spoilers and don't want to hear us, spoil anything, because I don't think we're going to be able to avoid spoilers on talking about this much.
No.
This show fucking slaps. Go watch it.
Yeah, this is a positive.
This is an excellent show.
I think it may be a first for us. This is an Emmy Award-winning show.
Yeah.
Like, literally yesterday or 2 days ago, it won 4 Emmys. It only has 8 episodes, and 4 episodes won awards.
Well, all right then.
Like, yeah.
I mean, award shows are kind of bullshit, but still.
Admittedly, it's 8-hour-long episodes rather than the usual.
Don't be ridiculous. They're only 45 minutes, except for the pilot, which is the first episode, which is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, Blue Eye Samurai. We all very much liked it. It is. I will say, as a warning, if you do not don't like watching violent shows with a fair amount of blood and stuff, that might be a bit of an issue. This show earns its mature rating. Let me just say that.
Yeah, it's not gore porn by any means.
No,
but it is absolutely. It doesn't shy away from the very real violence of the era.
Yeah.
It's got no small amount of Kurosawa in there, so spraying blood. It's got no small amount of old grindhouse movies in there.
Yeah.
So spraying blood.
Also a lot of
decent amount of
sex.
dismemberment, as you should expect when people are wielding 4-foot-long razors.
Yep.
Not much. Yeah, you're right. Not much in the way of sex. Nudity, but not much in the way of
There's
sex.
there's a reasonable amount of sex in there, actually.
Yeah. I mean, at least half of 3 episodes take place in brothels, so
Because it's happening in a brothel doesn't mean anyone's actually fucking. In fact, I'm pretty sure our main characters are not distinctly not fucking in those brothels.
They are not, but there are other people who are.
Yes.
But at any rate, it is a very good show. We all recommend it.
It's a mature show.
It is.
Yes.
As I say, it earns its mature rating in a lot of different ways, honestly.
Yeah.
Not
the show
just
is excellent. It does not shy away from the stuff.
Yes.
Put it that way.
But I said, if that is a deal breaker for you, we understand that, and you might want to give it a pass then.
I also say that it's not terribly gratuitous in the stuff either.
It's not, but I can understand why it might put somebody off.
It's not gratuitous, but put it this way: if somebody decided to sit their kids down in front of Netflix and find a cartoon for them to watch without actually looking,
I would not recommend this one. No,
I would not recommend this one
for a number of different reasons, actually.
I could totally see this being stumbled across by some 8-year-old and it becoming this weird cult fixation of theirs. Did you guys see this? And no one else having seen it until they're in college and they run into that one other guy that had seen it.
And then their parents find out about it, and it's in the news because it's corrupting children, and
This has never happened to Eric.
No, this has never happened to me.
Never happened, no. Cartoons are for kids, Eric. Tom and Jerry. That's what cartoons
I don't think it was actually a particularly adult show that this happened to Eric with, if I remember correctly.
No, it probably
was actually Robotech.
It was Robotech, yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember Eric telling me that he was convinced for a long time this was a fever dream.
Oh, yes.
Well, it would have been I would have been convinced it was a fever dream if it weren't for the fact that I have actual Robotech merch.
Right.
That no one else remembers, but I have actual physical representations of it.
Yeah.
Then you met somebody at your art school that had seen it.
Yeah, who had also seen it. It's like, holy shit. Other people acknowledge that this exists.
All right. So, yeah, Blue Eye Samurai. It is it's set in Japan during the Edo period.
Yep, it is a period piece.
It is a period piece. And it is, at least in the first season, a tale of someone seeking vengeance.
Yeah.
I know, shocking. This never happens in this genre.
A samurai show with seeking vengeance as a lone ronin. Okay.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
wholly original. Never happened before.
oh yeah, yes, our lead character Mizu is not actually a samurai.
No.
Not officially, at least.
Well, no, they are not. They are a badass swordsman, but they are not a samurai.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
not even
badass
technically a
swordsman.
ronin.
Yeah.
No.
Well, to
Yeah,
be a
they-
ronin, you had to have
You
had
have
a
to have
master.
a lord, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mizu's only master is vengeance.
Yep.
And tremendous amounts of self-loathing.
Yes.
Like pathological amounts of self-loathing.
Yeah. Mizu does, as one of my favorite phrases. She doesn't. They don't have issues as much as subscriptions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mizu is basically a, there is only one thought. There is no actual existence. There is just, she's basically a Terminator.
Kind of.
She's single-minded focus and like nothing else really matters.
So yeah, that's one of the first little minor plot twists you pick up early. I think it's the end of the first episode, basically.
Yeah.
Is Mizu for a while? I sat there going, okay, the voice actor for Mizu is definitely female.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean nope. Okay, nope, female. Got it.
Yes.
It's ambiguous for a while, and
Yeah,
she's
well,
actively
you-
disguising her that she's disguising herself as male.
Yes. Because women aren't allowed to wear.
Well, women are not expected to be able to fight in general. It's frowned upon.
And she dresses like a man.
Yep.
And she binds herself up, all the stuff that people that women do to pass as men in like period pieces like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She also wears glasses, tinted glasses, to disguise her eyes because she is half Japanese, half somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably English, but
Yeah. So just for those that aren't aware, during the Edo period, there was basically Japan was very much a build that wall kind of nation.
oh yeah,
They didn't want
Yeah, to the
anybody.
point where they shot anyone that wasn't Japanese that tried to. Well, yes, shot because they had, they killed anyone that wasn't Japanese.
Yes. So basically, everyone left, and half breeds were villainized, demonic. As demons, basically. If bullied, if not just straight out killed. And Mizu grew up as a young half breed.
Yeah, and
Was bullied.
multiracial,
didn't-
but Mizu was basically told, "Hey, you can't let anybody see you," for most of her young life, and then it was, "Hey, you can't let anyone see your eyes," for most of her young life, for the rest of her life.
Japanese people don't have blue eyes.
Yeah,
it's very very uncommon at least.
At the very least, yeah.
Mizu is very much driven to find and kill the four Europeans that were last seen in Japan because one of them is her dad, and
She knows of 4 European traders who were there, and one of them has to be her father. Not through, shall we say, romantic wedlock.
no.
You understand the meaning?
The implication is that there was non-consensual intercourse, shall we say?
Yeah. So she blames whoever the person may be for cursing her existence, essentially.
Basically, yes.
yeah.
That's the gist of it.
Like I said, Mizu's got into a small amount of self.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not just the whole like I'm a half round eye grr. I hate myself for that, but also just the whole like I hate being a being a woman thing. Like, well, I don't know about that, but she's all kinds of self-loathing, and yeah,
Yeah.
she
I
hates
mean, she
everyone and
kind
everything,
of blames
mostly
herself for
herself.
the apparent death of her mother. That
Yeah,
becomes
it's,
clear. That becomes a little bit that there's her maternal figure, who is, it turns out, is not actually her mother.
Yeah.
Also, turns
I
out not
mean,
to have
amazed.
died, but you know.
and also to have been a piece of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about Misu is that she's been told all of her young life that she's not part of society. She has to hide. She has to be separate.
Hmm.
And as she's grown older, regardless of the people that she's met along the way, she's always held on to that she's an outsider. She's not part of society. She gets by. She lives in the land, but normal life isn't for her. She's not interested in, say, for example, marriage or finding a husband. There's an episode that's.
Oh
In fact,
boy.
that's the one. That's the one that
Yeah.
won the Emmy, by the way.
Oh, I don't.
Um,
I totally believe it. That was a brilliant episode, and
It was
Yeah.
a very good episode.
and very
That,
tragic.
But again, we see her firmly on her path of revenge, with occasional flashbacks to how she got there.
Yep.
And it's. I'm gonna say I actually like everything is. There's. I'm struggling to get my words here. It's not over dramatic. It's not far fetched. It's actually legitimately like I can see where this path led
Yeah.
and why I can absolutely say, like, it's not just a case of, oh, I'm sad. It's not like a hot topic emo. I'm sad. My life wasn't perfect, so I'm gonna. It's no. It's look. This was literally the path her life was set on from day one. There was
Mizu's
really
not so
nothing
much-
else
yeah.
she was gonna be.
Mizu's not so much of a pizza cutter, all edge and no point. Mizu's a needle.
Yeah.
A lot of edge and all of it pointy.
Yeah.
Like Mizu, like this all sounds very like grimdark and edgelordy and whatnot, but it's all incredibly well told, which is all the difference.
Oh yeah. No, it's very well told, and it does. The cast that surround her actually help.
Yes,
The cast
particularly
the-
Ringo.
Oh god, yes.
yes. The cast around her are the catalyst for her questioning the difference between revenge and justice.
Yeah.
Like whether she's literally on a path of self-destructive murder, or she's actually trying to achieve something.
And if there's any honor in what she's doing.
Yes.
For most of the show, she really does not give one fuck about honor. Let's just say that.
No.
Yeah.
Which is now, when I think about it, the actual title of the show may be where she's going, not where she is.
Oh yeah, that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Now, yeah,
I
she.
really,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, yeah. Because one thing about this show is this. I mean, spoilers, but this is season 1.
Yep.
There are more seasons to come. Please, Netflix, don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's Netflix. We'll find out.
she is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say waving death flags as such, but there's very much a doomed hero kind of, Spike Spiegel's kind of thing to her, where
Oh, she very much knows she's not planning to survive her quest.
exactly, yeah. And I was really hoping they didn't do that, and at the very least, out of season 1, they haven't, because we need more seasons.
Yeah.
That's my one worry about the show, is that they do that whole she doesn't fit in with society, there's nowhere for her to go, because I think there actually is potential for more character growth out of her.
Oh, there absolutely is.
Not just to be a doomed swordsman.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, they're just it depends on how much they want to hew to Edo Japan, basically,
Yeah.
historically, and they're doing a fairly good job of it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if the capital suffers what it suffers in the show during the Edo period. It has happened on more than one occasion.
It has happened, but yes.
I mean, yeah, up until recently, it was pretty much just a thing that just happened. Like, it was like the seasons. It doesn't matter what we're in the world.
It didn't happen super often, but yeah.
So anyway, we've got Mizu. We've
Yes.
spoken a great deal about Mizu.
I am blanking on some side character names. Hang on a second. I always do this.
We have Ringo. Ringo's the
Ringo.
first person she meets in the first few minutes of the
First episode.
Yes.
Ringo is helping his dad with a noodle shop.
Ringo is an absolute fucking goober, but he is absolutely the heart of the show.
He's a big guy. It's implied he's not too bright, but he's not as dumb as everyone thinks he is.
Yes. He's a very good cook.
He's an excellent cook. He has no hands.
Nope. No hands.
Just turns out he was born that way. And after seeing Mizu, like, pretty much dismember a they call them flesh traders, but
Slavers.
Call them talent scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically guys that go around buy women from poor families and then sell them to brothels. Sell their contract to brothels.
Yep.
He's a particularly unpleasant variety, though. There are some that are legitimate businessmen. I mean, this is the thing.
They're still awful, but there's levels of awful we're talking about.
Yeah.
This guy is pure, just unadulterated scum.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. Again, it's one of those shows where you've got to take into account the period that it was in, and prostitution was a legitimate trade. I mean, hell, some of the best characters in this show are out working in the brothels.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I have much more sympathy for most people who work in the brothels than the flesh traders. Let's just put it that way.
It's not nice. It's not a nice existence as such, but it is an existence, and it was a legitimate one, so to speak, in that period.
Madame Kaji is a really interesting character.
Madame Kaji is amazing. But
yeah, we have Ringo, and Ringo, after seeing Mizu like dismember this flesh trader and get like some information out of her, she looking for Haji, I think his name was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He becomes
she's looking for the person who is selling the Western guns.
Yes.
At that point.
Yes. Because he pulls a gun on her, and it's a little Western pistol, which is supposedly illegal in Japan. So he must have connections.
He didn't pull it on her; he pulled it on Ringo because Ringo tripped and spilled his ramen.
And she's like, "Oh, a lead, excellent."
Oh, I heard about someone with a cool gun like that. Tell me, where'd you get that gun? Where'd you buy it?
Who's selling the guns?
You got that gun, let me listen. Tell me who you got that gun from and where'd you buy it. Or I'm going to cut off all your limbs. I guess I have to cut off all your limbs.
Don't worry, she didn't cut off all his limbs.
No.
I think she cut off one hand.
Fingers.
And blinded him or something like that.
She cut the gun itself along with his fingers.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ringo sees this and is like, "Okay, you're really cool. I'm a decent cook, but I could be so much more."
Yeah,
and
Ringo's whole thing is he wants to be great.
Yeah.
Like when we first meet him, he basically declares himself as the greatest noodle maker in the region. As far as he's concerned, his are the best noodles that have ever been made. Now, his are the only noodles that he's tasted.
Well, no, he's tried his dad's noodles, and they aren't very good.
Yeah, a few of the other local soba.
He's the best in the immediate vicinity.
Yes.
They end up in an actual city and tries noodles somewhere there. He's like, "Oh my god, okay."
I was so wrong. My life was a lie.
As good as I thought it was. Okay, good to know.
Yes. But anything he decides to do, he wants to be the greatest. He wants to achieve greatness.
Yeah. And he
Which is
sees,
why
yeah, and he sees Mizu like take this guy apart, and sees that she's got blue eyes. So he's like, oh wow, someone else. Unfortunately, uses the phrase "deformed" here,
Yeah.
which, given the attitudes of the region, is not incorrect. Just
It is appropriate.
Problematic.
It is time period appropriate. Just unfortunate.
yes,
It's problematic today, but it is appropriate for the time period. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And he's like, well, you're deformed also. But you're great. You're strong. I want to be great and strong. Make me your apprentice. You don't
This is
have
like
hands.
no.
Yeah, she's like, no. But that doesn't stop him. He sort of follows her around like a puppy dog. It's
Yep.
kind of adorable.
Yep.
She actually legitimately threatens him a couple of times, and he has legitimate, actual reasons as to why she should help him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the first episode, but at some point, basically, she realizes that he's actually incredibly stealthy for his size,
Yep.
and actually puts a bell on him.
Yes.
Because he keeps popping up whenever that was it. She tries to get into a city along the way with it's the
Right.
period you need travel passes basically, and if you haven't got the right passes, you get thrown out. We see earlier on that some guards are easily bribed, others not so much, and the only reason she gets into this city is because Ringo is a fast thinker and is able to talk his way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for that, she tries to ditch him at the local brothel.
I mean, she pays for him for like 3 nights, so
yes,
you know.
yes. No, well, what it is she's well aware that if you want information in a big city, you go to the brothels
Yeah.
because drunk horny men talk.
Yes.
And yeah, so she has a habit of staying in brothels rather than hotels because they're better essentially.
Not
And,
so much.
yeah,
She doesn't spend much time in town.
No,
ever.
she tends to stay outside of
shows up.
towns.
She gets directions from some samurai to a dojo, but ends up
At the brothel.
they send her to a brothel, and she's like, well, fuck. He's for Ringo, and then gets actual directions to the
I think she gets it from the prostitutes, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
gets it from the
They do,
prostitutes.
yeah.
To the dojo. Shows up and goes, hey, I need to talk to your master, and they're like, we're not accepting new students. I'm not here to be a student. Why would I want that? No, I've got a message for your master. Well, he doesn't see anyone. Well, he'll see me. I have an important message. No, and fights break out.
Yep.
And she pretty much just cleans house with the entire dojo.
with a boken.
With a wood sword.
She's got a wooden sword and just actually, this is a great show of like setting the tone of the show. She's breaking bones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crippling people basically with some of the stuff she does to like their feet and their legs. They're done. Some of them won't hold a sword again.
Probably not, no.
And this is also we're introduced to two other characters whose names suddenly escape me. I had them on the tip of my tongue. The princess and the samurai. What were their names?
Yes, I've got it in front of me. Princess Akemi.
Yes, Akemi
And Taigen.
Taigen. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, the order of characters are all the wiki that I'm reading have put it in the character. Sorry, not they've put the characters in order of the actor because there's some big names in this show.
What? No.
And the more important characters are further down the list because they're not voiced by big names.
Right.
So Taigen's a very prominent character going forward.
Yeah. Taigen's this dojo's
Top
wonder
student.
kid. Yes.
He's our top student, Wonder Kid. He is Akemi's love interest.
Yeah, Kemi is the princess, the daughter of the local lord.
Yeah.
Like king shit around that kind of area.
And she's been trying to convince her dad to let her marry Taigen.
Yeah. because it's either that or get married off for a political marriage with, either
Whatever
another
fat loser
family
shows
or
up, yeah.
yeah. Women don't have a lot of options in this era.
Particularly not highborn women.
Yeah.
So they are literally used as political tools.
Yep. Largely. They can have a lot of soft power if they're clever and smart and know what they're doing. Which it turns out
well,
that her father's major domo and her main tutor, Seki, has been basically training her to do her entire life.
Yes.
He's like, I know women don't have a lot of power and such, but I want her to be able to survive and thrive. I'll teach her what she can do in her own way.
Yeah, she's like, there's a reason I sat you down and taught you how to play, games of strategy and tactics from an early age. There's a reason I taught you how to do this, how to do that, how to.
This is revealed later when she.
Yeah, it's not this.
Yeah.
This is all later, but like it takes her a while to put it together because I like Seki.
Oh yeah.
But you can tell he's still actually like he's trying to not be her father
Yes.
because he's not.
Yep.
Her father's just an asshole.
Yes.
And a Japanese lord, so he doesn't need it. Like it's a case of your father has summoned you. Oh, cool! I'll go and see him now. There's no, yeah. Also, George Takai is Seki.
Yes.
Yeah, which is great.
You almost wouldn't actually notice it from his performance. I don't think. I mean, obviously his voice has aged a little bit now,
Yep.
but
No, but once you know it's him, you hear it.
yes,
Yeah. And he's also just George is good at his job.
Oh, he's very good at
He's
his
doing
job.
it for a long time, and he's excellent.
yeah.
He was a very good voice actor, it turns out. He's done several things.
he's
He's been very good in all of them.
He did a couple of pieces in the the Star Wars Visions, it was called, and I didn't realize it was him. Also, I've only now just realized who voices Ringo. It's Masaoka,
Yeah.
Hero from Heroes.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear it now. Yeah. And the other big name, the other. I might as well just get this out of the way because we're bouncing all over the place. Kara Hiroyuki Tagawa plays the blind swordsmith, who we'll get to in a moment. That's Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movie,
Yep.
if you're not familiar with that name.
Oh, I thought that. Okay.
Ming-Na Wen is in this as... I've forgotten her name now.
The madam, whose name escapes me. Always
Madam
escapes.
Keiji.
Madam Keiji, yes.
Madam Kaji.
Kaji,
yeah,
yes.
as the madam. And... didn't expect this one. Kenneth Branagh shows up in this.
He's the main villain of the piece.
Yeah. Good God, he's good.
Fowler is such an interesting.
Fowler
villain.
is amazing.
So Fowler is the white guy that, seeing as we just mentioned him.
Of season 1, yes.
Yeah, he's the one that Mizu's chasing at the moment. The one that she's trying to run down.
And she's apparently at some point already killed one of them.
Yes.
Yes.
And Fowler is basically kept in a tower, and given like everything he wants as long as he stays in the tower, because he's the Shogun's primary
He's a smuggler.
yeah.
So even though the Shogun has outlawed foreign influence in Japan, the Shogun has a deal with a foreign smuggler to make sure that he can still get some of that premium shit that he wants.
Yeah. So that Western shit.
Yeah. And all he has to do to get this is give Fowler a place he can stay, but he can't obviously walk around in the open and be a Westerner in Japan. He couldn't allow anyone to know that he's a hypocritical fuck. So he leaves him in a tower with money, food, entertainment, shall we say?
Mm-hmm. Of many different sorts.
Of many different sorts.
Yeah.
The only caveat is he can't leave the tower. And hearing Kenneth Branagh being this belligerent, violent, cruel man who is utterly bored out of his mind and fucking with everyone and anything that he can for just a modicum of entertainment is
The dude oozes charisma and like the
Oh yeah.
yeah.
also just like some of his turns of phrase like bear a cup of concern and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Like I love that phrase.
Like there's one bit where he's just monologuing. He's in this tower, because he's the Westerner. They've built him a Western church, a chapel to pray in. And he you know, he walks in and you can see there's cobwebs everywhere, and he's like, I'm not a, you know, he has this monologue conversation with you know, with Jesus, with God. And again, there's so much like, I can't even, just go watch it. Fuck, why am I doing this? Just go watch it. Like the dude is just a presence.
Yeah. And he almost, I think he beats Mizu twice in the
Yes.
entire series. Like both times there's a fight, obviously, both of which are excellent.
Yep.
But yeah, and Fowler's whole thing is he's bored, so he's been plotting to kill the Shogun and take over Japan, because why not?
Yeah.
What else is he gonna do?
Put him a puppet leader in that he can control and assert influence and open Japan back up to the West for business opportunities for him and his friends.
Because that's just the kind of nice guy he is.
Yeah.
Doing it all by smuggling in Western guns for his mercenaries, so you know they can just do what they do. What they do is, you know, terrible.
No.
Fowler is utterly unredeemable.
Oh, yeah.
Putting it out there.
Oh yeah.
Great villain, utterly irredeemable. Like,
You know who he kind of reminds me of? And not just because of the accent, but you remember Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York?
yes.
I forget the character's name now, but
Like Butcher Billy or something like that.
something like that, yeah. Bill the Butcher, that's it, yeah, I think it is. But yeah, it's that kind of performance we're getting in an anime.
So, anyway, back to where we were.
Yes.
Mizu ends up fighting Taigen. It's an actual real fight. Mizu has to draw her sword. She defeats Taigen. He calls her something unpleasant. She remembers that he was one of the bullies from her childhood. So she cuts off his top knot and fucks off.
Yeah, basically
Now
he
Taigen can't get, now Taiga and Kemi can't get married because
he's been embarrassed.
Taiga's been utterly disgraced.
Yep.
Yeah. Taking all his honor.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing is that the fight is fairly even until Mizu drops the weight
Oh.
the weights.
Yeah, she straight up fucking Rock Lee's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She takes off the training weights that are on her ankles and wrists.
And he's like, she takes him off. He's like, wait, what? No.
Amusingly though, those aren't just weights. They actually do serve a purpose later in the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
It's actually really fucking clever.
It's really fucking
I
clever.
don't know how.
really
I'm not sure
like it.
how actually functional it is, but it's
Functional?
really clever.
I'm pretty sure honestly, I'm pretty sure it's utter bullshit outside of the narrative we have here.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's damn good in the narrative.
It's so
that's what
fucking cool.
matters.
Rule of cool on this one through the roof. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
long story short,
it's-
the weights are also they're tubes that can be assembled into a pole to turn her sword into a naginata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're considerable. They've got a decent bit of weight behind them, so that they make a legitimate difference in combat. Which, to be fair, as she's not exactly a thickly built woman, shall we say? She's quite slender. So wearing training weights constantly to build up her strength so she can fight men makes a lot of fucking sense.
Oh yeah.
I,
I'm kind
everything.
of surprised Mizu is as slender as she is, because she was also a fucking swordsmith.
Yeah,
That's a physically demanding.
I mean, she's got a lot of wire. She's very strong, and she's got a lot of wiry strength.
Yeah.
Really.
yes, it's very
Yeah.
wide. Like she's got like what relatively wideish shoulders, but the frame itself is relatively slim.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's very stick. But yeah,
I mean, the implication is she's not like bulky, but is very strong.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so now Tyson can't get married because Akemi's dad won't do it. Akemi's like, no, we can still totally get married. No, she beat me. She he
Well, he beat me because he's convinced Mizu's a dude.
yeah. Almost everyone is convinced.
As far as I know, the only two people who know, three people actually, are the swordsmith,
right.
Ringo, and Fowler.
Yeah.
I don't think Fowler even.
No, Fowler figures it out in the
figures it
final
out.
fight between the two.
You're right. He figures it out in the last fight.
And to be fair, like I say, they even though she's quite androgynous, you do spend the first couple of episodes thinking, first episode thinking, is she, isn't she, kind of situation. Which way are they going with this? Like they still hold the sway that the illusions, shall we say, I suppose. That everyone around her in Japan, her disguise is perfect. No one questions that she's a male samurai going about his business. The only reason Ringo figures it out is because he catches her in a hot spring.
Well, she basically he helps her not die. Basically, if I remember correctly, he treats her wounds.
That's a little bit later.
Is it okay?
Yeah. No, because the again, not to go too far into it, but there's a scene where when she leaves him off at the brothel, she actually pays for two attendants, shall we call them, and they teach him the difference between peaches and melons.
Yes.
And the episode ends where Mizu turns around at a noise. She's trying to relax in the hot spring. She turns around with her sword, totally naked. Ringo pops up and goes, "Oh, peaches."
Yeah.
That's literally how he finds out that she's a woman.
Yeah.
That's no one else can figure it out. This disguise is perfect.
Well, she's usually
That's
wearing
the-
binding, which helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the gist of it. There's none of this is she, isn't she, as far as the characters in the show are concerned.
But yeah, so
So yeah.
most of the show is basically the two main plot lines are Mizu trying to get to Fowler,
Right.
and Akemi trying not to be married off to the Shogun's son.
Well, Taigen tries to run down
Mizu.
to have a good and proper duel. Because it wasn't a duel before, honest. Shut up. Kemi said it wasn't a duel, so I'm not counting it as a duel. I need to fight you proper.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Akemi decides that, well, if he's not going to marry me, there's no way I'm getting married to the Shogun. I'm out of here.
The Shogun's son, not the Shogun,
The Shogun's son.
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
whom there are a lot of bad rumors about. Turns out they're
Yeah,
not accurate.
she wouldn't be his first wife. Put it that way.
No, and it's not her. It turns out it's not his fault. Though everyone implies that it is.
Yeah, everything implies that that his
He's
mom
got a
is
reputation
just
of-
a
'cause-
monster.
Yeah, because he's a soldier. He's the Shogun's son. Of course, he's the general. Of grand armies, and he's a brute and a monster. And his last wife didn't survive him because he's so rough. He likes, he likes to treat his women roughly.
No, he's actually a fairly for a samurai. He's actually a pretty decent guy.
Yeah, it turns out he's actually a quiet little sweet boy. He doesn't really. He's not outspoken. He doesn't.
His mother, on the other hand.
His mother, yeah. That's where the reputation is.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Also, his attendants are all. They're also the ladies in waiting for the bride to be are also pieces of work.
Yeah.
And Akemi has she eventually gets sent to Osaka to not Osaka, is it Edo, I think.
Edo, yes.
She eventually is eventually sent to Edo. Like, we're not going to go through every episode because duh.
No. Yeah. Go watch it. We don't want to spoil this.
Right.
You should watch this show.
Watch the show, but like she ends up in Edo and is going to be married. It ends up, I believe, actually being married off. Actually, they actually do get married.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, he's got a stutter. That's part of the reason he doesn't talk to people very often. Yeah, Akemi basically, okay, yeah, you two, attendants, you're being utter bitches. I'm not saying that part out loud, but you're fired. I'm going to hire my own attendants.
Like when these.
Hey,
two
Madam
shots-
Kaji, how would you like to hire out? How would you like to? How much would it be? How much would it cost to buy out the contracts of all your ladies? Ladies, now that you're free about your contract, you're free. How'd you like to work for me? I pay very well.
Yeah. She literally spends her dowry to free. Because again, she spends time. Again, not going to go into everything. She spends time working, air quotes, in a brothel under Madame Kaji. That's why she ends up knowing them all. And she literally spends her dowry just to free all her newfound friends.
And so she can hire them.
So she can hire them. Or give them a choice at the very least.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're free now. Would you like to work for me? I pay very well.
Yeah.
I really love that sort of like, they're like, wait, you're not forcing us to. No. Don't be ridiculous. This will go much better if you're working for me because you want to work for me.
The second those two attendants showed up and started gossiping, I was like, oh, these two bitches gotta go.
And they
I'm
went.
so glad they did. I'm so glad they did.
It was great.
Because Akemi does not suffer fools, we find out. And
No, she doesn't.
It takes her a while to actually find her balls, for want of a better term.
Well, it's after the conversation with Seki where he's telling her what he's been training her to do, and she's like, "Oh, fuck, you're right.
Oh.
Okay, I can do this."
Wait, you've just married into the Shogun's family, like his second son, and he's a quiet, soft-spoken pushover. You are the power behind the throne, lady. Come on.
Yeah. And it's kind of implied that's exactly what the Shogun's wife is also.
Yeah.
Yes. Because the Shogun clearly, I mean, obviously he's doing hypocritical, black book deals. But in the end, he's also relatively well. We never see anything bad out of him really. He's a relatively honourable man. He actually comes across quite positive. The only negative in the household is literally his wife.
Mm.
At least that we see. We don't get to see much of him. Yeah, he does not fare well. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I believe Fowler shoots him in the face.
Yes.
Yeah, he's threatening his life, and he says, "Okay, fine, then give me my sword and let me go. Let me die with my honor." And Fowler's like, "No,
No. You need there needs to be humiliation here. Everyone needs to see how this works."
Fowler comes within like a katana's edge of like actually succeeding. Like,
yeah.
He comes real fucking close. Unfortunately for Fowler,
Mizu shows up.
Mizu did not die
not
when Fowler thought he killed her.
Yeah.
Mizu has a real knack for not dying.
Mizu is amazing at not dying. I mean, the problem is Fowler didn't count on Mizu showing up because he thought she was dead. And Mizu does not care about collateral damage.
No.
She will happily burn down the palace and the entire city of Edo. That means she might kill Fowler.
Yes.
yeah."
Also, I will say,
Which is exactly what happened.
yes. I will also say, holy crap, Akemi and Seki locking Fowler's men into the castle from the outside.
Yeah.
While it's burning down. It's like, damn! I mean,
Akemi got a dark side, man.
I mean, to be fair, I understand why they did that.
Yeah.
But damn!
I will say, if I do have one other nitpick with this show,
Mm-hmm.
God, I would like to see Mizu fight like 100%.
I mean, you do. The entire That first fight is against Tigan. She's at
Yeah,
100%.
that's about it. After that, like she's always. I mean, sure that it's a trope. She's always outnumbered,
Yeah.
and has to fight through the hordes to get to the final boss. Whenever we go through one of these scenes and she finally reaches the final boss, apart from Tigan, she's almost always already bleeding profusely, broken ribs, broken something
Yeah.
else, utterly battered, and then has to go into combat with a 100% healthy opponent.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, it's almost as though they're bad guys. They're using minions to soften her up.
I mean, I get it, but it's just like I think it's just because of the, like I say, it's a 8-episode show, and it's like the number of times it happens is quite. It feels denser than it maybe is. But like the whole thing about let's see her one on Fowler is a competent fighter in his own right, to put it lightly.
Yes.
And the first fight that she has with him, it actually goes relatively well to a point until he gets the advantage, and it's like, yeah, but she also came in with broken ribs, again bleeding profusely, suffering from intoxicant powder, like hallucinogenics.
Yep.
Like every floor of this castle she went through
It was a trap.
had a different trap, and
Yep.
yeah. But like, I know the point I'm trying to make in my head, but it's just like,
I mean, I honestly rather like that entire sequence. It's like
I like the sequence.
it was very grindhouse. The music was great. The fights were amazing.
It's like,
The various traps were cool, and the fight with Fowler is she breaks in. Fowler's unarmed and completely taken completely by surprise. So Fowler literally like fights her hand to hand.
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of like, it's. Do you want your protagonist to be able to handle the villain, or I just find it very difficult to beat the absolute living shit out of people who, like, if she takes wounds that have killed other people.
Yes.
She takes damage that has killed people in that same sequence, and then but carries on and then can still fight the big bad.
Yep.
I think that's the only, like, I fully help hands up. It's a nitpick. There's just a little bit of plot armor, shall we say?
I mean, the big thing is that if she wasn't injured by the time she got there, they would also be plot armor. Like it's a different style of plot armor is the thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather see the good guys get the shit knocked out of them than walking through everything. I understand what you're saying, Gav, but I vastly prefer this trope to the standard shonen I am invincible until after to the Dragon Ball Z.
Going through the hordes of goons until you
like I'm okay with going through the hordes of mooks not getting hurt occasionally.
Yeah.
And I can see that you could make an argument could be made that like the show could use a little. I could see the argument for this. I don't think so, but I can see the argument for maybe Mizu having a bit of an easier time occasionally. But I do think, given the style of story they're telling, it fits in with the genre that they're doing better.
Yeah.
That's sort of my take on it.
My only concern, and just going back to what I said earlier in the episode, if it turns out that in later series when we get to the end of the story, it turns out the doomed swordsman was the angle they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they have that actually finishes her off better be fucking epic. Because if it's less than what we've already seen her take, I'm calling bullshit.
I mean, there is the. I mean, I'll put it this way: she has plenty of time to heal up between where the end of the season, and where she's going to be theoretically going to be ending up next season.
Yes.
I mean, I think what does Mizu in the end is going to be an infected Scratch from walking through the woods.
No, she's gonna be like, my job is done. I will kneel down, lay down my sword, and then just die. Just spontaneously, just stop existing.
I mean, if she's dying a proper doom death, it's going to be accumulation of damage over the course of an entire like epic arc.
Yeah.
Much like she almost died in the chase up the tower to get to Fowler, like that almost killed her. In fact, if it hadn't been for Ringo pulling her out of the water, she would have drowned.
Yep.
So like, what saved her? The reason she's not dead is because she has friends. Despite
Yeah. She's got friends and frenemies. Tigan becomes a friend. Her best frenemy by the end of this.
Yeah. And there's definitely sexual tension between the two of them.
There is so much sexual tension.
And Tigan is very confused by it.
Tigan's like, oh, Tigan's totally like the commander from Mulan. It's like, I don't know why I'm turned on. I'm normally not into guys. What's going on?
Right. It's very much like it's very much a case of I'm not into guys. What the hell's going on? Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like that's not a problem. Like, I would not have been.
No, sorry, that's just made me think. Actually, do you know the one comparison I haven't seen in any reviews to the show
Is Mulan? Yeah, I mean it's Grindhouse Mulan in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and considering Ming-Na Wen's in it.
Oh.
Yeah, instead of the Mongols, you got white dudes. Instead of China, it's Japan.
Yeah.
Instead of joining the military, it's
Going to murder 4
become
people.
a Grindhouse samurai.
literal Mulan murder hobo.
I mean, it's not. The story and themes are not exactly the same, shall we say? But
No, but
there's some concepts.
parallels. Yeah.
Parallels.
Yeah.
No,
instead of any murder,
I will
get
say
Ringo.
Mizu is a really, really well done antihero.
Yes. You actually, the thing is, it's like the anti-heroes people point to, like the Punisher, for example.
Punisher isn't
All
really an
people-
anti-hero, but yes, I
No,
mean, he kind of is,
all
kind of
people-
isn't.
All people want out of him is mayhem and carnage. With Mizu, you actually you feel sorry that she's in this position. You actually give a shit.
Yeah, well, that's a well-done anti-hero is supposed to do that.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, I don't want her to end up as the doomed hero. I want her to figure shit out. Like I said, the cast that she surrounds herself with, it's people who are trying to give her that balance between what is revenge and what is justice, what is honor. Are you actually setting out to kill your father just because he's, your father, or is it because he's actually an evil man? I mean, the one who actually is probably is, but she's basically just aimed at 4 guys that she knew was in that period at the time, and says, right, I'm going to kill them all.
And that way I'll get my dad.
Yeah. If I kill all 4, I know I'll definitely get,
It's almost like, as Eric said, she doesn't care that much about collateral damage.
No.
Yeah.
She is not. Mizu is not a good person currently.
No.
There are elements of her of what she could be a good person, but the good side is not currently winning.
Her interactions primarily with Tigan, Akemi, and Ringo start to lighten her. I mean, she does have a relationship with the blind swordsman who took her in.
Yep.
We haven't actually spoken about him, but he kind of gives her a baseline of discipline. He's the one that literally, to quote to pun, he forges her. He's the one that gives her that core belief system and some semblance of honor, at least to begin with. But she kind of loses that along the way, and that's a point actually as we later in the series.
There's an episode which the one that Gav mentioned won the Emmy, where she very almost steps off the path of vengeance.
Yes.
That she does, and then she's betrayed.
Yeah. She actually gets married, settles down with a former general who now breeds horses for the emperor. the Shogun, sorry. And she, she's no good as a wife. She can't cook. She can do manual stuff, but she's much more effective, like out in the fields, doing like similar sort of stuff to what she used to do as a blacksmith. Lugging bales
Yeah,
around.
it turns out she's
chopping
pretty
wood.
good with horses.
She's good with horses, good with animals. Yeah.
She is physically very strong. So
And
she
it's
does a lot
all-
of stuff,
it's all-
and there's a relationship develops between her and the husband, the man she's married. And then it becomes very clear she knows how to fight a bit. I forget the exact thing and basically they spar a bit because he wants to, and she's like, wow, he's good enough. I can actually like stretch my legs and actually do my thing, and I feel safe doing that with him. Oh no, he's not cool with the fact that I'm actually a better fighter than he is.
Yeah, she clowns him. She doesn't just like beat him. She starts having fun with him.
Yep.
Like takes his weapon from her. Takes his weapon from him. Turns out she's actually he's the Naginata user that inspired the later.
Well, she's like, oh, I hadn't thought of a Naginata. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. Turns out she's really good with that. Actually throws him her sword, so at least he can defend himself, and ends up clowning him anyway. Yeah, he seemed like an okay dude. Like there's literally a scene on their wedding night where she's lying down with her face away from the door, expecting what she's expecting, and he just walks in and says, "I'm not a monster," and goes to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're very standoffish and very like, as it feels like to him, he's less got a wife and more a housemaid.
Yeah.
To begin with, they do eventually get close and start having a relationship. But the second it turns out that he's got a fragile ass ego, he runs to the Shogun and informs them of a.
We don't know that for sure because remember, her mom's also staying with them.
Yeah, but he
Yes.
he very much
Opium
walks
habit.
when the Shogun's men show up to take her in, he leaves her to them.
Yeah,
And when
he
he-
comes riding over, sees what's going on, and then rides away.
Yeah. And when he
Um,
comes back,
So at a
he
minimum, he's a
starts with
coward.
Yeah. When he comes back, he starts giving with the apologies. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. It wasn't me, it was your mum. Like,
when he comes back, he's like, okay, I got my sword, and everyone's dead. Well, I ran off to get my sword, so everything. Yeah, that's what happened.
Mizu's like, fuck you both.
yeah.
Yeah, her mom's
This-
unfortunately an opium addict.
Yeah.
Her mother
She
figure, I
was
should
never
say.
a very good person.
So there's a chance that she sold her out for opium.
There's a real. It is intentionally
Better than
not
average,
clear who
yeah,
sold her out,
Yeah.
Yeah, it honestly could have been either of them.
or possibly both.
Yeah.
But the thing about this episode is throughout the episode there's a puppet show going on at the
For the Shogun.
For the Shogun and Akemi. Basically, it's like the entertainment when she arrives in Edo, and it's the story of the Ronin and the bride, which is from what I understand, it's a legitimate actual
It is.
Japanese folklore tale.
It is.
But it's flipped on its head because the bride is the general in this instance.
Yep.
And it's a story about a warrior who is plagued by his demons. Essentially, he can't let go of the path of vengeance.
Yep.
Until he finds a way to do so, and his demons follow him.
And everything is going okay until he finds out that the woman he's fallen for is part of the family that he's seeking vengeance against.
Yes. Distant bloodline, but that's enough for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
like I say,
he kills
and
his
we
kid. Yeah, he kills his
Yeah.
kid. He kills his wife. His wife is so distraught by this betrayal that she does not die. She instead becomes an Oni.
Yes.
yeah.
And
At which
yeah.
point, Mizu becomes both of the characters because,
Yeah.
good God, the scene where she realizes that she's been betrayed. She doesn't know which one's done it, but she knows she's been betrayed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by the mother that's supposed to be the mother figure that's supposed to have been protecting her all her life, or the man that she finally allowed herself to open up and fall in love with.
Yep.
And with makeup streaming down her face, she's screaming like a banshee, murdering the shit out of Imperial guards.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an incredible scene, like legitimately.
Yeah.
And again, like this is I get it. I get it, Mizu. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely 100% utterly justified.
No, I have a feeling that things are not. I have a feeling this is going to end up having a tragic ending.
Yeah.
This is very much written as a tragedy. Like,
No, I think it'll be fine.
the thing is, it could go that way. I'm okay with that. The problem is that it's just that a lot of stories that are structured like this. The question is whether she is actually going to be, whether she's an anti-hero or ends up being a tragic hero, and I don't know what she's going to end up being yet.
Listen, what's going to happen here is that she and Ringo are going to reach level cap and then open up a bar, and just be the point of contact for the next adventure. That's just how that works.
I see.
Yeah.
My two. I mean, it's early in the story and there's flags being waved. My two thoughts at this point is either it's the tragic hero, or she actually ends up with Tigan.
That's entirely possible. I mean, she might end up with nobody also.
All that, yeah. There's that. But they're definitely going to explore the realization when Tigan finds out that she's
absolutely. There's a real possibility that she might end up being basically a Kemi's sword.
Yes. That's why I think of it, what I mean about going, samurai is where she's going to be.
It could end up there, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. The first season really has tragedy vibes to it, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it really does. Really does.
It has well done tragedy vibes to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, there is nothing. The show is excellent.
It's a very good show.
Yeah, you can kind of tell it's a very good show because we're meandering and wandering all around because we don't know where to start.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the big thing is that we're talking about the themes and what's going on in the show more about than the plot, because that's more important to watch it and feel it
for yourself.
Yeah, like I really do think that it's really worth watching.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot to talk about other than just the plot, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, one thing we haven't mentioned is that we briefly mentioned the music, which includes a fucking epic cover for Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yes.
Which came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, a period piece samurai story. She walks the castle scene where she first meets Fowler that we've mentioned.
Yeah, she's going up it's while she's ascending the tower at some point during that.
Literally, like you see the tower in silhouette behind the moon, and she steps into frame. Boom. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And then they start playing the cover in its entirety during we'll call it the sub boss fight.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. There's a couple of covers of other songs as well. That, like there's a lot of traditional era style music.
Yep.
But there's a lot of like modern music weaved in that doesn't stand out of place.
The only one that really you notice is the cover from the Bell Tolls. That's they're not hiding it. They're not hiding it.
The Kill Bill theme plays.
They do. Yes, they do play with Without Honor Humanity at one point. Yes.
Yes, they do.
I forgot that. Yes.
There's another one as well, but I can't remember what the song is. When she's fighting in the stone corridor with the pitfalls.
Yeah.
Right.
I just can't remember what the actual song was.
Yeah. The Kill Bill song in question was A Battle Without Honor Humanity is the full name.
Yes.
Excellent song.
Oh, it is, absolutely. And used well in my personal favorite Tarantino film.
Yes.
Yep.
and used very well in the show. But yeah, the music's really well done. The animation's really interesting too. Like the art
The
style.
animation, yeah, the animation it's all CG, but at this point we've reached the point where that's not necessarily a knock against it.
When it's done as a stylistic
yeah.
choice.
Yes. And it's the animation's very well done and excellently choreographed. It never feels
Oh, the fight choreographies are great.
yeah, it never feels chunky or out of place the way some CG series can.
Right. I mean, it's all CG. Like it's all
yeah.
CG, which helps honestly.
Like I'm more thinking like first season of Dragon Prince, where it literally gave me a headache to
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
watch the show.
Right.
But yeah, no, the animation's excellent. And CG's not my area of knowledge.
Right.
Like, I have seen some beautifully animated CG movies that I enjoy immensely. Looking at you, the Spider-Verse movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or Arcane, or Land of the Lustrous, which is a show we should do at some point.
Yeah. It is a show not in the same style, but quality wise, you're talking things like Arcane. You things like Clone Wars.
I wouldn't put it up there with Arcane.
But like
Arcane's and just purely on animation, like Arcane's animation is superlative. Like it is.
What I mean is
amazing.
What I mean is this is like 3D animation done, well, not simply pinnacle, but it's we're at a point now where 3D animation is absolutely valid.
Yes. This isn't Berserk 2016.
Nothing is.
God, I hope not. Please, ever again.
But yeah, no, it's yeah. There's, I have no complaints with the animation. I wish I knew more about the CG varieties so that I could do a better breakdown of it.
Right.
But it's gorgeous. It's well done. It didn't blow me away like say Spider-Verse or Arcane did. But you know what? It was good, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Like there've been a few shows which we've done where I thought they used a fair bit of CG, and it was really noticeable first, but it sort of fades into the background.
Yeah.
Like Kato did that for a fair bit of it. It wasn't like it was not good, but like it was not offensive after you got used to it, basically.
Yeah, with all the tech.
But like this, it's like it's noticeably CG, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I realized that I spent a lot of time on, and I suppose actually doing it as CG and possibly even a 3D element to it actually helped, is the movement.
Yes.
Because it's not stylized, like it's not Samurai Jack, you know what I mean? It's not
right.
It's not slash. The actual movement in this, the sword fighting, the skills being on display are legit.
Yeah.
I've been saying, just as a bit of a laugh, because I mean, obviously I know where this all came from, but this is kind of scratching my Star Wars itch.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars is a samurai movie with lasers.
Yes. But like I say, I think as I said, you do get that a couple of examples of that traditional samurai duel, the one cut death kind of situation. But a lot of the more fast-paced fights, especially against multiple opponents, does feel like it's almost been influenced by the thing that was influenced by the original kind of, you know what I mean? It's like there's a little bit of lightsaber dueling going on. Not a whole lot, but yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, like the animation serves the movement well because they're not trying to be. The movement is stylized, but not in like.
It's not superhero. It's not superhuman.
Yeah, it's not superhuman. It's not It's not overly stylized like you might see in some things. It's Sorry, I'm brain fragged. I'm trying to find a way to describe this.
It's not people like leaping, 50 feet into the air.
Well, even then, it's not like it all feels plausible within the medium, and the medium isn't taken to its extreme, but the medium definitely serves the story in a way that, like, say, live action wouldn't couldn't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think this would work nearly as so well in live action. I say that about pretty much anything that's animated even halfway competently.
Yeah.
People
Eric
will
still
keep on-
refuses to watch the One Piece live action.
damn straight I do. But I have quite the I hate it when they make a live action version of an animated piece.
Yeah.
I really fucking hate it. But looking at you, Disney, who hasn't produced anything new or interesting that isn't directly related to an IP you bought in 2 decades. Fuck you, Disney. Anyway.
I mean, there are plenty of reasons to say "fuck you, Disney." So you know,
Oh yeah, they're
you don't really have much of an excuse to say that.
Yeah. It's just I was thinking the other day. I don't think Disney's done anything original. It wasn't directly related to Marvel or Star Wars. That was
Not
at all
that-
interesting or successful in by any measure.
I can't remember the last thing that Disney themselves put out that was like even remotely original that wasn't by a sub studio that is owned by Disney, like a Pixar or a Marvel or like you say a Lucasfilm or whatever.
The closest thing I can think of off the top of my head is Owl House, and that was a TV show, so I'm not counting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't think of a movie thing that, yeah, like a couple like creatively bankrupt live action remakes of stuff from their renaissance in the 90s. Moana wasn't bad. Moana was good.
Moana was good.
That came out in the last decade, right? That's not like something that came out like
they have released a few since then.
that came out in the last decade. That wasn't like 2014, was it?
2016.
Close, but under the bar.
Put under the bar. Well done, Eric.
It was before we started doing this, anyway.
Not by much.
No, they've released a few things that have got like mixed reviews. Like I think it was. Oh no, that was a Pixar. I'd have to look it up.
I mean, Inside Out, Elemental, all Pixar that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
There was one that they hardly marketed at all, involving something involving like a finding out that like the plant they use to power their society is an invasive species and choking the life out of their islands, so they need to find a way to how to exist without it. Like, that
All
wasn't bad. It
Okay,
wasn't
I
good,
looked
bad.
this up just to remind myself. Stuff that's come out, Disney's done that Disney themselves have done since Moana. The second Wreck-It Ralph movie, so no. Sequel, the Frozen sequel, but 2 movies after that: Raya and the Last Dragon and Encanto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Encanto wasn't bad. Ray the Last Dragon was derivative crap, but
I've not seen either, but I'm just saying. But Encanto, I've heard good things about, actually.
Encanto was actually pretty good. I'll give them that.
Hooray, Disney! You got one. Well done.
You got one. Your creative team is not bankrupt. Not yet.
I mean, they are, but
Well.
anyway.
Yeah,
off
probably
topic, but
We
yes,
are all over the place. I'm sorry, guys. I am all over the place.
it's all right.
Like I say, it's a great show we want to talk about, but we also want you to go and watch this.
Yes.
We cannot stress, like every other word would be, go watch this, we recommend this. Go watch this, we recommend this. Go watch this, we recommend it.
But yeah, the big final, the season finale is just, it's so well done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like, you know,
a lot-
Taigen and Ringo are pissed off with you know Mizu because you know
Mizu's going to go off and be all jerkwaddy.
she all she cares like she's basically pissed off. Like Ringo finally has had it. Like, okay, look, why are you being so? Oh my God, you're such a vengeance edgelord. Why stop? Not gonna meh.
Why didn't you help Akemi? You could have helped Akemi. Ringo, I just fought off literally 100 guys with tiger's claws. I'm exhausted. And I can't stress this enough, do not give the least of fucks about Akemi.
I barely know her. She is not in my people I care about list at the moment. It's a very short list, Ringo.
Frankly, she's a silly little girl and a distraction that she needs to fuck off and go back to her own world.
Yeah. And
That-
Ringo's just like, that's not cool. That is the opposite of honorable. I'm done with
I don't care about honor. I've never cared about honor, Ringo. Honor is for samurai. I'm not a samurai. And honestly, most samurai don't believe in it either. They pay lip
Right.
service to it.
Yeah.
Which, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But like everything comes together, and like, Mizu actually saves some people. Not a lot of them, but some. Like she's part of the reason Akemi makes it out of the palace alive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, her and Seki.
Yes.
Because Seki is a fucking boss.
Yes, he was.
So, not to spoil everything, but it turns out that Akemi's dad is an asshole.
Yep.
And for reasons, he's really into the whole marriage with the Shogun's son.
Yep.
And during the attack, tries to lock Akemi in a room. For her own safety, i.e. don't fucking run away.
Well, this is after one of her former prostitute friends tells her about Fowler's plan, because they know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Oh, we should tell my dad. He'll want to know about that." And his dad's like, "No, I've known about this.
Yeah.
It's I'm part of the plan." What?
Yes.
I'm their inside guy. I mean, do you think they could pull this off without an inside guy? I'm the inside guy.
Dad, that's gonna get a whole lot of not terrible people killed. And
Yeah, but
they're common people.
nobles, and who really cares about nobles?
it's not just nobles.
He didn't say that.
It's not just the nobles
what
is the
I said.
problem.
Yeah.
And this way, who's gonna be on the throne? Your husband. And you're gonna be there. Well, you're gonna be there, and with the tragedy that's happened to all the royal family, you'll be the last surviving person there. You can therefore put me on the throne. It'll be great.
Yeah. I'll be in charge.
And you will be married to the Shogun's family anymore. This is see. I was trying to do things right thing, the thing you wanted all along.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a great plan. No downsides whatsoever. No one that I care about dies. And yeah.
And he can
Great.
totally trust Fowler not to screw him over.
Yeah.
Now he's planning to screw Fowler over, but
Fowler probably wouldn't screw him over until he got bored. Fowler would probably go, "Fine, you can be on the throne. I don't care.
just as long as you do what I want you
We're
to."
opening up trade.
Fowler wouldn't.
Opening
Yeah,
up
Fowler.
trade and Western influence, and you're gonna fucking like it because I have guns."
Fowler wouldn't screw him over unless he was stupid enough to have an opinion of his own.
Yes.
Now, I will say this: that will happen.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
he
Also, if I remember correctly, he was planning on killing Fowler off
probably
anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Fowler-
everyone's out to backstab everyone in this show.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Akemi's dad knows that there can be, I hope knows, there can be no long-term accommodation to Fowler. Like, that guy cannot be trusted further than you can throw him. Which, he's a big dude, you can't throw him very
I'm pretty
far.
sure you can't trust him further than you can throw Osaka Edo Castle. Like,
Yeah.
but yes.
But yeah, he meets a very
Yes, he's in the palace when it burns
abrupt
down.
fate.
Locked in a room.
Yeah.
He's locked in the exact same fucking room.
After, Seki lets Akemi out and locks her dad in there.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, when he locked him in there, the palace was not yet on fire.
Yeah, it's basically just like, you sit there and think about what you've done while we go and handle everything else.
Yes.
But yes, at the end, it very much looks like to Ringo, Taigen, and Akemi that Mizu is almost certainly dead, burned to death, along with Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were not. Because Mizu's
Fowler.
basically has Fowler dead to rights, and Fowler points out, well, if you want to find the rest of the other two foreigners, you need me alive. Why? Because I know a word that you need to find them. What is it? London. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. Oh, you fucking right. I do need you alive to get to London.
Yeah. And
I
to
can't
know
get
my
there
way
without
around
him.
and-
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it ends with Mizu on a ship with Fowler locked up in a cage, apparently headed to London.
So I get to look
Ready?
forward to the Netflix representation of 17th century London.
It'll be fun.
It's
just
gonna be-
like
It's going to be worse than Dick Van Dyke.
I don't think it will be. I think they'll probably hire mostly English cast.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
it'll be fine. It's gonna be just like Penny Dreadful. You're gonna have Frankenstein there and Dracula.
Oh yeah.
And
Eric, Gav, I will warn you,
Dorian
it is
Gray.
almost certainly going to be dirty and nasty.
Mizu
mean,
versus
yeah,
Jack the
it's-
Ripper.
That might happen.
I think it
That might actually happen.
is it that late. I was getting the impression it was more 1600s.
It's Edo period, which is 17th century, so yes, it's
Yeah, this
1600s.
is 17th century. I'm being
Okay.
flippant, yeah. But there's definitely. Oh, Governor, you were them Japanese people then, had you? Do you need a tour guide?
I will say, they will almost certainly hire actual English actors.
Hopefully, yes. Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's how you all sound like all the time, isn't it?
No, it's really not.
No, it's how you sound right now. You just called me governor right now.
Governor.
Gav,
Yeah.
this is not anime related. Gav, do you remember the episode of? Do you remember the bottle episode of of Leverage where they're all retelling the same story, the same heist, and Elliot trying to impersonate Sophia, or all of them just getting Sophie's accent completely wrong?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. After the little bit of research, well, I say research, a little bit of like delving into the world of voice acting that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Casting places in LA, for example, which I believe is where Netflix is based.
Yep.
They like to advertise for people who can do an English accent.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean that they're English actors.
Nope. I know. But there's a good chance they might actually hire some English actors. I mean, they got fucking Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, we've heard Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent. It's not great.
No, it's not.
I've heard
Hugh
worse.
Laurie's is.
Hugh Laurie's is
I've heard
very
worse.
good. But
Yeah,
Hugh Laurie is
very good.
Hugh Laurie is a fucking chameleon.
There is actually a bit of a meme like going around of the number of English actors currently working in Hollywood that no one knows are English.
Yeah.
Like the guy from I forget his name, but the guy from Walking Dead.
I mean, narrow it down a bit.
He plays the lead in Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Forget his name, but yeah, he's English. He was in if you remember Love Actually, the Keira Knightley movie.
Oh, yeah.
See, I remember what he was in. I'm just horrible with names.
Kev, just count yourself lucky that they're not all gonna sound like freaking space orcs.
I mean, you're saying that.
I think Gav would take that over some
kinda hoping they do.
possibilities.
I guarantee you, there's one cheeky chappy street urchin straight out of Oliver Twist.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Are you kidding?
He's probably going to be the Ringo of the season.
17th century London. There's going to be at least one. There has to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's apparently going to be a season 2. We're hopeful.
Yes.
Like, it's currently planned to be one. Whether it actually gets made or not, who fucking knows?
I mean, it's done well from what I understand, so hopefully the guys at Netflix...
But it's
are like,
Netflix.
we won't just bin it.
I'll say, at least it's not Warner Brothers Discovery.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ. It would be done. Half of it would already be leaked online, and then they'd shit can it for
Yes.
a tax break. Because Warner Brothers Discovery is a fucking monster.
Yeah. But I think that largely wraps up. There's not much that we could talk. We could ramble on for a while longer, but we probably should wrap things up.
Like I actually had stuff prepared for this, and it has all fled my brain.
It's all right.
So I apologize.
It happens. It's been a fun conversation anyways, so
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even dive into the origins of tentacle porn, which we found out.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Or I was gonna make all sorts of comparisons between how this show tends to oscillate between Kurosawa and old school Grindhouse.
Yep.
But
It does.
and does it well and seamlessly.
Oh, yeah,
honestly.
it transitions very well. And it's got a fair number of. Its ability to transition between the lighthearted moments and the heavier moments is also very impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess we should go into final thoughts, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's since Gav's choice is me, then Eric, then Gav. So yeah, I mean, it's a really well done show. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. It's really well done. I really, really like Mizu as an anti-hero. She's a really well done protagonist. I empathize. I sort of sympathize with Gav, and I kind of agree with her. I would love to see her, actually journey in a good direction as a character and make improve as a person. But I'm okay with her not if it's done well. Like if they go down the tragic hero path, I'm fine with that too. Also, it's probably possible she traveled on the path to becoming a better person and ends up in tragedy for her anyways. Or because of
I
that.
think that's the most likely thing, honestly.
I would not be surprised by that. It's almost like I've watched several Yakuza movies. But yeah, no, it's a well done show. It's a very well done show. The cast is the voice acting is great. Fight choreography is great. The atmosphere just in general is spot on. Like they really did an excellent job with the show, and I very much recommend it. I don't have much else to say that I haven't already said while we were talking, so it's Eric, up you.
So, I really like this show. I'd actually caught it as it was airing, if that's a thing that happens on Netflix. I actually caught it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed it. When Gav said he was thinking about it, I put my thumb on the scale because I wouldn't say no to watching it again because it was excellent.
Right.
The characters are all incredibly well realized. The animation's great. It scratches several itches at once. Like if you're looking for an old school samurai / kung fu movie, it's got you covered. You're looking for some like Kurosawa, but not Kurosawa, it's got that covered. If you're looking for just action schlock, but with heart, it's got that covered. It's excellent. It's very good. And I say action schlock, but it has the terminology to be very good at what it does and make you care about everyone. So it's not really schlock now, is it? So yeah, no, it's just go watch the show. It's really good. The critics also like it, which is normally a knock against it, but just check it out. It's good.
One thing I
watch
forgot
people get stabbed.
One thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about the animation, it's also one of those shows that's got you could hit pause at any moment and probably print that out and put it on a wall.
Yes. The old ye old every frame of painting kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I've just been looking up now to check about sequel rumors, and the image that it's popped up. Obviously, I can't post it on the stream, but the image that's popped up is fucking art. And in fact, I'm going to share it with the other guys. But that's just the random image that they've used in this article.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
I think that was a good fight.
Yeah, it really was. So just on that note, in fact, because I have found something that it has been renewed for season 2, but Netflix cutbacks because it takes around it took 3 years for them to make this from conception to air time, so to speak. It's going to take roughly about the same to do another season, and it's slated for the end of 2026, possibly, but it's only going to be 6 episodes.
Okay.
So a little bit less. They do want to do 3 seasons is the original plan. But they're going to see if they get there. But yeah, I mean, like I say, this is one of those shows where normally not to say I was going to bounce off it, but it's like it was kind of hyped a little bit. It was pushed, like every time I turned on Netflix to watch something, it was like, have you seen this show? I'm like, yeah, I'll get round to it. And in a lot of situations, I kind of end up never getting around to those shows because, like, stop telling me about it. I'll watch it if I want to watch it. I'm very stubborn. So glad I did. And it's one of those sad things, unfortunately, the term Netflix jail or Disney jail. There's actually a lot of animation now popping up on these platforms, but they don't advertise it.
Yeah.
Original animation, shall we say.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very good Terminator anime currently on Netflix as well, which is basically a Japanese take and adding to the lore. Not a retelling. It's a companion piece, essentially. It works alongside, what's come before. But yeah, Netflix just they don't do a lot of original stuff, but what they do is they're doing a very good job of finding absolute gems.
Yes.
And I think they've learned with what they did with Arcane, that the time and effort to be put into a show like this can absolutely be worth it. Obviously, Arcane Season 2 is right on the doorstep. It's next month, basically. So there's the Terminator one. They had Edge Runners.
Another excellent one.
Yeah, this is the thing. Netflix put out a very, very limited amount of animation, but when they do, and it's something original, and it's advertised and promoted, pay attention. Because it's very rare that they miss.
Delicious in Dungeons is another Netflix one.
Yes, it is. Yes. Again, like I say, it's that was not my favorite, but it is more traditional anime. It's like that would, you could absolutely see that on Crunchy or something like that. You know what I mean?
It would fit in on a Crunchy, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, these guys have already said all the technical things about the show. I'm just gonna repeat. Just go watch it. This is absolutely, and if you're one of these who turns their nose up at animation, why are you listening to this podcast for so this fucking long for a start? But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who, like, I've tried to recommend this to, and they're like, I'm not really an anime fan. I don't give a shit. Go watch it. This is cinema. Maybe not on the same level, and I'm dishing out a bit of hyperbole, but it's in the same category as Akira or something like that. It's a piece of media that stands on its own 2 feet. The only difference between, say, something that's produced out of Hollywood is just the medium they've chosen to present it in.
Mm-hmm.
This is absolutely a 100% modern, mature piece of a cinema for adults. It just happens to be computer generated.
Yep.
Like, if you can go watch Shrek, you can go watch this, for fuck's sake.
I wouldn't make the comparison to Shrek and
No,
Blue
but
Eyes
I
Samurai,
couldn't think of a more contemporary 3D animated.
I mean, even ignoring like the 3D, like it, if you like a lot of modern sort of premium television series like that, like on HBO and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
if you like that high quality stuff, if you liked, for example, Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Give this a fucking shot. Like,
yes, absolutely. Yeah, the Game of Thrones fans should be all over this.
Like, I mean,
there's enough political stuff in there.
A lot less incest.
A lot less incest, but there's enough politics in there and weird sexual fetishes. We didn't touch anything that went on during the brothel scenes. There's a lot of weird shit going on in those brothels.
Yes.
It's mostly in the background.
Yes.
Mostly in the background, but it's still there.
Yep. But yeah,
honestly, nothing that I saw I felt was like weird or untoward. It was just like, oh, that guy's got an infantilization fetish. Okay, good for him. Whatever.
No, it's not
he's getting it out in a healthy way.
Yes. No, that's one actually the thing that they use a lot of those scenes in a very mature way.
Yes, they do.
Like every time you see something weird, it's not put in there to shock you or to make you go, oh, what's going on there? It's usually with Madame Kaji walking around explaining why these men are willing to, and how to use that to your advantage. Important lessons that come in later, but yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm backtracking straight back into the review. No, it's a good show. Go watch it.
So yeah, it's another round of 3 thumbs up from us. You know, it's a good show. Go watch it.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Oh, how
So
boring. It's a good show. Go watch it.
yeah.
Go watch the show. It's good.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So next time when we do an episode, we'll be covering my most recent pick, which is the Apothecary Diaries.
Oh, a period piece set in Japan.
No, this one's set in China.
Oh, sorry, China. It is. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Different.
Yes.
Completely different.
Completely different.
And it is.
Not
It's-
about. Yeah.
It
yeah.
is. Yeah.
It is not a blood-soaked vengeance fest, for example.
Well, not yet. There's still time.
Not one mecha to be seen.
No.
Or
No.
space work.
Eric, I don't pick the
Possibly
mecha shows.
You picked a mecha show.
Which one?
G Gundam.
You're right, I did pick one. I picked one. I picked a super robot show.
Technically, yes.
Not technically, that was a fuck. G Gundam's a super robot show. It just says Gundam.
I mean, mecha does not preclude super.
I know. I'm just.
No.
I'm being.
I'd just like to point out the absolute irony of your username, and we're the ones that promote the mecha.
My username comes from when I was running a tabletop RPG campaign that was a mecha themed campaign.
Okay.
Literally, it was an email. It was my email address as the game master for that thing, so people could send me questions. I just kept having to use it for a while after that for some reason.
Fair enough.
I did not intend it to become my internet handle.
I mean, it's better than mine. It's just something I thought sounded cool when I was 40. and I just stuck with it for the next 30 years.
That is how I got my email address. So.
But that's going to do it for this episode, folks. Thank you so very much for joining us. We hope you enjoy it. Perfunctory feed the algorithm stuff. Do it. Whatever. Blah.
Yeah.
See you all next time.
Yeah, right, go watch the show.
Yes, please watch the show.
Yeah, go watch the show. Go watch the show. It's a good
Bye.
show.
Bye bye.
Bye, Humies.